Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode with me to Happiness is a Healthier Habit. My name is Jackie Poole, and I am so glad you're here. Today's a very cool episode because sometimes we have all of these choices, don't know what to do, and I'm really going to break down going and making great decisions. So today is going to be a shopping guide that's going to really help you nutrition wise. It's going to reset what you know and really help you cleanse your body by making better choices grocery shopping. And so the key is to shop smarter and staying clean and lean. And so I have great tips for you on how to get started for a great experience to getting better food, cleaner food. And so one of the tips that I have when we go grocery shopping, which is a must, is always have a list, have a plan of what you're going to do, what you're going to get, so you're not getting additional things. Sometimes, you go in with $100 and you leave with like 250, right? And so the key is to go with a plan, know what you're going to eat, plan accordingly to, if you go shopping every week or every other week. And with that being said, first thing in the mornings for me is always a great, start, because if you go to a grocery store at 2 in the afternoon on a Saturday, that is like the worst time. You will be definitely bumping into people. It's not going to be fun when you have kids around, and you're going to be waiting forever in those lines. So first thing in the morning and being prepared with a list is one of the first tips that you should kind of implement as a routine when you do grocery shopping. And of course, if you can't do it, curbside is always a really great option. A lot of stores do it nowadays. I'm from Texas, and Austin has H-E-B everywhere, and that is my number one here. And so where do we shop for our groceries is going to be tip number 2. And that being said, first stop, I've never done this. And actually today I got an email of a list of farmers markets where I can go around town. And I will link that link here so you can have that too if you're in the area, if you're in the city. That's definitely such a great email that I got today. And so I want to share that if you are not subscribed to them. I believe it's 365 Austin. So I am so excited that I got that today, because maybe I will try to make it to some of these farmer markets. And the reason for this is if you have like some in the area, you will definitely save money. The, fresh produce is going to be much better than what you buy at the grocery stores. And you're also supporting your local farmers. Now, and if you're eating like whole unprocessed foods, these are the best places to get your grocery stores. But like most of us, including myself, I am more on the conventional market where, they have like a lot of organic stuff, all of those things that I like to get. Especially for me, I love Central Market, and the brand is sold at a H-E-B. And so I like getting like my chia seeds from there, my flax seeds from there. All of these organic options that I can get from that local, grocery store. Now, there are some other grocery stores like Trader Joe's, and, Central Market actually has an actual grocery store here. And so those health foods are really great, but they tend to be a lot more expensive. And so if there's some specific things that you like from there, that's great. But I would limit my purchases, especially when you can get some of the same things from your traditional grocery store, like, organic spices and bulk things that you can buy in bulk, like, Costco, you can get, the big bag of beans and they're organic and things like that. Definitely get at your conventional, local store. And so, again, with that being said, lastly is doing the farmers market, which again, there's lots of them here popping up in Austin. So, definitely good to look for some of those in your area. And again, if you can't do the grocery shopping, then just order it online. Internet, Amazon is doing all of that great stuff as well, especially like if you buy the certain teas from online, certain proteins that you buy from online, certain, supplements that you get from online, definitely a great way to maximize your grocery shopping. Next, we're going to talk about how to go grocery shopping. So, personally, I really like to do grocery shopping in person, but sometimes it's not feasible, so curbside it is. But I've also made it a point to use my reusable shopping bags and leave them in the car, because when I take them out and if I don't put them back, I know I'm going to forget and I'm going to end up using the plastic ones. And so to conserve less plastic, use less bag, definitely purchase reusable bags. Consider bringing a cart to your farmer's market if you are doing that. If you're going to purchase, a lot more groceries, bring cash if you're going to those events. A lot of vendors don't take like credit cards or things like that. Also, dress comfy wherever you're going. If you're going to a farmer's market or your conventional grocery store, bring some walking shoes. Make sure you're comfortable. Browse, then buy. Get your options in order to save money. So know what you're going for, which I talked about in the beginning. Make that list, know what you're wanting, your recipes that you're going to do, so you're not just buying to buy. A good great way to shop is using the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 handouts. I actually provide these in the coaching program, but if you want a copy of these, just email me. I will be gladly, able to shoot you a list of these foods. They change every year. And so what these are basically some of the foods that you don't really have to buy organic, that are less bred. And the Dirty Dozen are actually the most heavily sprayed, more pesticides, more chemicals. So definitely a recommendation to use or buy organic with those. Don't be afraid to buy in bulk if items are on sale. Just know that, their expiration date, wash them, slice some of them, freeze some of them. That's how you will also save some money. Stick to the perimeter only in traditional grocery stores. So what that means is try to stay away from all of the processed foods that are found kind of like in the middle of the sections. So kind of going outside around, right? So if you notice when you walk into the store, I know you always have like the produce section, and then around you have like the meat section, the eggs, the milk, the, all of the, yogurts and things like that. So in the middle, you're going to find yourself walking in the aisles of the cereals, the chips, the snacks, all of the packaged things that you don't really, need. And so I'm always avoiding those, especially because if I take my kids, I know they're going to want them. And so I hate saying no, but it's easier just not to go through that aisle. So that's what I mean by staying on the perimeter of kind of like on the outside of your traditional grocery store. And another tip is actually not shopping on an empty stomach. The more likely that you'll be adding more to your cart is going to be greater. So studies show that we typically spend 60% more when we shop hungry. So you'll be saving a lot more money if you eat a good meal before you go shopping. Now, this doesn't pertain to you if you're doing a curbside pickup, right? But buy seasonally foods, foods that are in season. They're usually less expensive, more fresher, nutritionally dense. Now, with that being said, if you buy frozen foods, here's a great tip for you. If you buy frozen fruits, especially like blueberries and strawberries, those are already picked right when they're ready, right? And then they're frozen. They stay, you have them longer, they're more fresher, their micronutrients and vitamins and minerals and everything that they're made out of are actually much more fresher, and they stay in there because they're frozen. So that's just one great tip, that some of the things, if they're frozen, they don't have to be bought seasonally, but it is better if you're not doing frozen foods. Next tip would be buy generic and store brands. So it is way cheaper when you go buy those, off brand than the ones that are actually brand. They're usually a few bucks difference depending on what you're getting. So it's definitely going to make a difference at the end of your checkout. So, if you are someone that's trying to lose weight, to better their health, to just do a one-on-one consultation, a one and done appointment, then this is going to be great for you. A supplement consultation where we go through a symptom decoder based on your, how you feel, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve. And what's best about this appointment is if you've done genetic testing, for example, like 23andMe, and you have that information available, I have a system where we go through a genetic expression, and it's going to help me regulate and give you a personalized protocol to give your body the right nutrients so you can absorb, and you kind of down regulate inflammation and really increase your energy, your longevity, you improve your fat loss, you know exactly what supplements you need to be taking with that information. So gathering all of this data is going to be great to start and send you off. And the best part about this appointment is you get $50 worth supplements that you actually need, not just guessing what's best for you. So it's really individualized to your needs, your goals, and your genes. So this appointment is just one and done. Schedule an appointment. It's on the show notes below, and I can't wait to get you started on this one and done supplement consultation. Collagen is actually something that everybody needs. Everybody's losing. We lose like 2% of it every year. And if we're not having and feeding our bodies the right way and supplementing with it, we are definitely losing it. Collagen is it's a protein that is literally in every part of our body. It's in our joints, it's in our skin, it's in our hair, in our nails, in our muscles. So it's very important to have a supplement, and now a good quality supplement. There's powders that don't stir well. There's powders that are super sweet and you can't even take the full scoop. I remember I took this, lemonade one, and I just could not. I couldn't. It was too sweet. I was only taking like a third of it. And so I didn't like that. I wanted to make sure that I was giving my body what it needed. And so this liquid BioCell collagen is really my ultimate favorite one. And the best thing about it, it can be individualized to your needs. There's a sports one, which is really for your ligaments, your joints. It helps with your mental and performance in the gym. And so it's really one of my favorite ones, as well as it's certified sport nutrition. So it's backed by real science. So if you're somebody that is strength training and it's really looking for something to, lessen your injuries and help you, go to the next level, this collagen is going to be great for you. Now, if you wanted to get started, you'll get $10 off with the referral link below. And now back to the show. So here we're going to be diving into some of the ingredients that we see on certain labels, on certain foods, because they can vary. Sometimes we can look at a label and not really know what it means or what it is. So we're kind of breaking down some of the things that we see and we don't understand as far as ingredients, because they can come in all forms and ways. So number one, we're going to be talking about gluten. And as an ingredient on the label, it would be much easier to avoid these foods containing this substance if it was actually labeled gluten. But unfortunately, we're not taught this. We're left guessing. So to make it easier, I just have a few examples of what can be contained or considered gluten. And some of these are rye, rusk, hard wheat, bread flour, crimped rice, club wheat, matzah, malt, so many things, right? There's just a lot and lots of things that could be considered gluten. So those are just a few examples of what's considered, gluten. Oh, one of the main ones is flour. If you see like hydrolyzed wheat protein, malt syrup, there's just so many, and I had like a whole list, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but those are just a few examples of if you're somebody that's trying to limit their gluten or trying to stay away from gluten or has an allergy or some type of thing that you're trying to stay away from, like celiac disease. Those are just a few of the things that could trigger or could, be considered gluten. Now, another part of this is actually sugar, right? We want to identify sugar on a nutritional label, but what happens when manufacturers start using, different types of sugars in products, there's so many things, and you might not even realizing that you're taking all of this sugar in. So here are just a few different names that could be considered sugar. So when you're looking at the label and you see, sugars added and you don't really see like sugar on the ingredients, these are some of the things that could actually be named instead of sugar. So you have dextrose, you have, fructose, fruit juice, glucose, glycerol, golden sugar, lactose, high fructose corn syrup, maltose, malt syrup, molasses, ribitol, sorbitol, sucrose, xylitol. So those are just, corn syrup. Those are just a few samples of the things that could be considered sugar. And if you don't see that on the label, those are probably what's listed on the, ingredient, label. So that is, sugar in disguise for you. And of course, there's so many names. And those are just a few examples. And of course, the easiest way to avoid gluten and sugar is to avoid any or all processed foods at all. If not straight from the mother nature, chances are is processed. So again, even with that being said, if you're looking for, processed foods or anything like that, definitely recommend 5 ingredients or less. There's always exceptions, but if you're really wanting the potato chips, then you would rather go with the tortilla chips. If you notice, there's certain, ingredients, like I just found, I forgot the name of it, but I found some tortilla chips that it literally said tortilla and vegetable oil, and I think that was it. I had maybe 1 or 2 ingredients left, so I'm like, I'm grabbing this. So I'm not saying never, and there's certain choices that you could be better than others, but 5 or less ingredients would be ideal. Now, we talked about when, where to shop, some of the thing, how to shop. We talked about, the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 list. We talked about, gluten in disguise, sugar in disguise. And so one last thing that I'm going to mention today is to try to grab a variety of foods. So one great recommendation that I heard a long time ago is having different foods for the week. And that means, at least like 30 different things. So it's really not hard when you have a variety of fruits and vegetables and meats and snacks that you're doing, right? So for example, when I make my oatmeal, I have oats, I put, walnuts, I put chia seeds, I put almond milk, I put my protein powder, I put apples or, blueberries or both sometimes. And so that's like 7 things in my breakfast. And so imagine maybe later I'll have some strawberries or some carrots, or, later I'll have some almonds and, maybe some eggs, or, that's already like 10, 12 things in one day. So that's what I mean by a variety of things, right? So it's just different foods, and it's going to help your digestive system. It's going to help your microbiome, your gut health, introducing it to new food is always great. I know our local stores sometimes don't have a variety of things, and so that's why farmers markets are always a great choice for trying different things. But always try to shoot for a great, or try a new recipe or a new ingredient to see how, it affects. Just like when you introduce, I'm going to give this, I'm just thinking it up the top of my head. But when you introduce your child to a new daycare, it's going to be he's probably going to be sick for the first like couple of weeks, coming with, viruses and boogers and snots and all that stuff, because you're introducing it to a new environment. After a couple of weeks, he's probably going to get used to it. You're not going to, see him as sick as you did when they first started, because you're introducing it to a new environment. So kind of the same thing for your body. You are, making it stronger, making it, you're building that immune system, your gut health, because you're introducing it to new foods, new taste, new something. So it's always great to have a variety of different foods if you can. Also, always try to shoot for good quality meats. If you can get organic, that's better. Free range, always look for those labels, because however those animals lived, you're eating all of that. So if the animal was given a lot of medication, a lot of antibiotics, you're going to be taking that. So even if you're somebody that doesn't take antibiotics, that is the number one way for you to actually take in those antibiotics. So your body is dealing with all of that. So if you're able to also get, those types of meats that are, again, and free range, antibiotic free, wild caught, those are also better choices for your health and your immune system and your gut health as well. So I hope today's episode was informative. You took value out of it. I know personally I do a lot of these things myself, and there's always exceptions. You don't always have to be perfect, but 80-20 rule is always a great application here. We love our waffles in the morning, so of course waffles is just something that we enjoy as a family. So it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. But again, 80-20 is a great rule for you and your family. And I hope you got a lot of value, and share this episode. And I will talk to you next time. Bye. So the summer is here and we want to be with our most optimal health and well-being. Summer girl bod, right? And so what that means for me when I hear that is really focusing on how I feel and the symptoms that I'm having. And so this summer, I'm actually having one-on-one, just one and done consultations that really focus on decoding the symptoms that you're having. And if you're someone that's done a genetic testing, we can definitely do a really personalized protocol, which, genetic expression regulate our genes. And if we give our body the right nutrients, it's really going to help our body regulate inflammation, increase energy and longevity, and that's what it's all about. And with this actual supplement consult, you'll get $50 worth of supplements that you actually need, and we can definitely sit down and talk about this through the consult. So please schedule an appointment at jackiepools.com under the supplement consult. Podcast was something that was kind of hard to get started. I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to go. And Buzzsprouts really made things so easy. The show gets you listed in every major podcast platform. You'll get a great looking podcast website, auto players that can, drop in other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening or downloading your episodes. You also get tools to promote your episodes and so much more. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprouts really made it super simple. And for you listening today, I have a referral link. If you want to get started on your own podcast, you'll get $20 Buzzsprouts credit by using my referral link. So I can't wait to see what you come up with and enjoy those $20.